No, I will pay for it tomorrow when we get to
the range.
My doctor's office.
to her doctor's office, and that way I can just pass out in the car while I'm waiting for her to get done.
It shouldn't take as long as it.
Last time you didn't even have sonograms and you were there for 2.5 hours. You have to have sonograms this time.
Yeah, but that's all I'm getting. I'm not getting blood work done. I'm not getting anything else. I'm just getting an ultrasound and then a leaving. Getting blood work done. I'm not getting.
We swear we're professionals.
No, we're not.
We didn't forget Ozzy, Mr. Blue. No damn E.
Is that what you're looking at?
No. John.
Yo.
That empty camel pack of cigarettes up there. Can I have that, please? Blank, sir. Anyway, hi guys. We're live. Apparently, I did not see that until my phone gave me the notification.
Normally we have all this stuff taken care of first.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
Normally we try to have all this stuff taken care of
That's
first.
better.
No, we don't.
Shut the fuck up.
Enough.
Let's see. I completely forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, YouTube. I've only been on it all day. Is it wrong that it just makes me happy whenever I open YouTube and we're like right there on the front? Of course, it's only when we're recording, but
We try.
Makes me realize how white.
I mean, to
skin
be
complexion is.
to be really honest,
what's up, Bran?
we don't try that hard.
Because we're not tryhards.
Because if we really, really wanted to try that
Oh
hard,
man, yeah, that smudge is back. We forgot all about it.
we didn't clean it this week. Oops. We suck at this. I mean,
Look, I'm the one blurred out. Yay.
No, it's kind of in between y'all.
yeah,
Damn.
it looks like
It's only darker because we're using a different light. But to be fair,
It works better.
yeah, come Thursday, like I'm gonna go through and completely clean all of that. So
So he said.
so is us.
no, I am because
But
next,
to be fair, you do have all next week to get that done
yeah,
too.
well, and next week is when I'm considering adjusting some of this and giving more room to the recording, because I think that's where most of our light issue is coming from.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's gonna be a thing. I'll have to do it by myself, but I'll probably get it done faster.
Nah, you got Rudy.
That's true. I'll put his ass to work.
Pretzels and beer.
Yes. Yeah, there's actually going to be a lot more space. That'll be gone. This will be organized back here, and basically everything else will move back, and this will be centralized. And I'm actually going to mount the camera in a specific location.
I bet if you put it up in that corner.
What, like way up there?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
hell no.
down.
We'd have a lens flare so bad.
Not really.
How much do you know about camera work on recording?
I am tired. You woke me up.
You said you didn't care what we did tonight, if we were recording or not. I got
3 of us were hoping you would say, no, let's not.
No, all three of you said, I don't care. It's whatever.
I was good either way. Like me and Blue were ready to go. You seemed kind of eh. So I was like, fuck it, we'll leave it up to you.
And then she said, eh. I was like, fuck it, we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, Blue was down.
Well, I mean, it
Blue-
shows.
Well, put the kids to rest. But
May
no,
they rest in peace.
Right. No, he was more worried about me because, pretty much every day I get up and, I go to work all day, so.
Must be nice to be able to go to work.
Hey, you can come to work with me.
I don't see why he doesn't. Oh,
I'm-
yeah. You'd have to wake up early.
Honestly, I'm kind of digging the whole handyman thing. I might just keep doing it.
I mean, what, you get paid $50 a day.
Give or take.
There you go. That would give you your paychecks in a week. Without taking out child support.
Yeah, but I still have to pay that shit.
Yeah.
We don't need cops knocking on the door arresting me and then realizing there's 2 other people in this house that are back paying child support.
Bullshit.
And then suddenly Ash is home alone with all the kids.
Yep. I'm gonna put my ass under the house.
I think we'd finally get out and come home and there wouldn't be kids left.
I'm kind of okay with that.
She'd be being hauled off for ditching the kids somewhere.
Yeah, just Mike and Ray. The little ones are good.
I wouldn't even dump my car.
Yeah.
I can't say that on camera.
She just gives me a headache. She gives me a headache.
And yes, we know you watch this, Ray. It's okay.
Where's Hayden's ass?
I don't know. Just openly talk about taxes. Right? We won't touch social issues, but we'll talk about taxes.
That's what I think. That's what I think of those right there.
Like they can see your white ass fingers do this.
I'm sure you can see
It
that.
kind of. It kind of looks like you have horns.
It's just cowlicks.
Your Superman curl.
See, I will say I'm not behind on my taxes, but they take way too much out.
Yeah, no shit.
I think what they should do is they should take child support out after taxes. But no, they take it out before taxes, and then they tax your paycheck.
I say anybody that's behind, just put everybody in a coliseum. Whoever wins, fuck it, you're free and clear.
No, I do file my taxes every year. I've been filing my taxes since I was 17. Mostly because I didn't like my mom claiming me on taxes and getting free money for no reason. So, she got really mad at me the first year when I was 17 because I worked maybe 18 hours a week at Domino's because I was still in high
Jesus.
school.
Plot twist, it's a math competition.
Whack! I go ahead and kill myself.
Right?
I'm terrible at math.
I'm good at like basic on the fly math, but when you put me down with like whatever it is they're doing in school now,
Cosine, tangent.
yeah,
X minus y equals the square root of 2.
yeah.
God, I can imagine how the math is
Plus
gonna
z.
be.
Wait a minute.
How the math is gonna be later on
Like in 5 or 10 years.
like when he goes to school. Jesus fucking Christ!
I will help you.
She.
No, you
well,
won't.
He is gonna come and be like, "Hey, Uncle John, can you help me with math?" And we're like, "You're gonna fail, kid."
No, at that point they're gonna have like a tablet that has all their homework on it. They're just gonna be
Right.
like, I need help with this question.
Well, I mean, they already have like Chromebooks and stuff.
Yeah. Right, we'll just send them to Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll hire Brand as a tutor.
I don't know. My brother Seth, he's damn good at math. I could just
Oh,
call
so
Seth.
is my brother Shay.
Yeah.
I could throw any kid in front of Shay and he'll beat math into their head real damn quick.
Okay.
But then he also beats his ideals into their head while doing it.
But do you think either one of them will come to El Paso?
Oh, Shay will stay the fuck away from here.
Seth would gladly come up here. He wants to come up here just to hang out in here.
What the fuck?
Oh, there's no room?
He needs his own place to sleep.
We have
No,
couch.
he'd be fine with parking on the couch. That's what he did at Nick and Patty's. He slept not in Nick's living room, but
He
Patty's
slept
living
in
room.
Patty's living room
On
on
the
the couch,
couch.
even though he had a bed to sleep on.
It's because since he was 16, my little brother had kicked him out of their bedroom,
Yeah.
and he's been sleeping on between my mom's couch and my grandmother's couch since he was 16. He's 20 now, so his back is all fucked up because he's slept on the same 2 couches for the last 4 to 5 years. He doesn't know what a bed feels like. Like the house that he's staying in now, he doesn't sleep on a bed. He sleeps on a couch, but it folds out into a futon. He doesn't sleep on the futon though. He just sleeps on the couch part.
I can't sleep on a futon bed.
Oh, I can.
Well,
I tried once, and I woke up in so much pain.
The ones they make now have the memory foam mattress
Yeah,
pads.
no, the futons.
They're fucking
I love those. Even the older ones with the big ass fluffy cushion. I love those. Now the couches that fold out to the beds.
That's what I was talking about.
That.
I hate
At
those.
one point, I had one of those. Like that's what was in my room because I didn't have enough for like a full size bed. So at night, like normally I would just sleep on the couch because I'd fall asleep playing a game or watching TV.
I wouldn't doubt it, Brent.
And
They're stuffed with Legos, according to Blue.
yeah, no shit. And one night I was like, you know what? I'm actually gonna fold this thing out. So I folded out the bed and I slept on it. Fuck all of that, because the mattress is like that.
thin.
So you just have that metal rod going through your back.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
No, I'm talking about like the black futon that folds up into a couch and then lays back out into a bed. And the one that I did try to sleep on, I bought it.
And it had the really thin.
And it was this real thin pad that went
Oh,
across.
no. Oh, no.
And I laid on it, and the first night I slept on it, I was like, I woke up and I barely could move.
No, the
I was like,
the ones
sat
they
up
make,
and everything just goes
Yeah.
all the way up.
No, the ones they make now, they're really fluffy, and they have the memory cloud foam,
Oh, and they're good.
and they're comfortable.
Yeah, no, that motherfucker, I fucking grabbed that, rolled the fucking mattress up, tossed it out in the fucking yard.
No,
I
the-
went outside, grabbed my full-size mattress, and just threw it on. I was like, fuck it, you're a bed frame now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, at one point I had a wooden futon. You unfold that thing, that thing was so nice.
Like the futon
But
couch.
couch beds, I can't sleep.
Like
No.
the futon couch that what's his name was throwing away
Those
next
things were
door.
made by the devil.
Oh, the metal ones.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. I'd rather sleep on just the couch part.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say we could have went and just got like the fucking
The cushion.
cushion and
Oh,
put it in here, and then
those-
Mike would have just slept in here.
Those cushions are so good.
Because the
I love
cushions
these things.
itself
But
are
have you seen Mike and Ray's room? That's what the office would slowly start turning into.
no.
Yes, it would.
99% of that bedroom is because of Ray. Mike's shit is all in his drawers and in the closet.
I would gladly go outside and cut a big fucking branch off of that and make a new beating stick. I'm on the verge of doing it already.
Because if you actually look on their floor, it's just Ray shit thrown all over the
I know,
floor.
we had that discussion last night.
Yeah.
Because she needed... Oh, I told him this morning, you guys need to clean this room before we leave. Because if your dad comes in here to clean it, you're probably not going to have anything left in here.
And I plan on it.
Yeah, I know.
I completely plan on it. That first day, Lou, if he has to work, he's going to go to work. I'm not going to have anybody here, and I am just going to trash all the extra bullshit.
Don't touch my room.
I have no reason to go in your room.
Unless you're going to stick that in there somewhere.
Oh, y'all are going to have to do that shit before you go.
Yeah.
Because it's that, and then...
I plan on doing
Okay.
that after, like, just after we get back.
Oh,
I know I
we
want to
still
do
need
it.
to put it in the room, though, because he wants to rearrange here. So having that in here gets in the way.
Y'all are going to come back, there's going to be a big pile of shit in the backyard ready to burn.
And we are now joined by No Damn E.
Snacks.
I'm drinking.
For the first time in forever.
Okay, Mr. Champagne of beers.
I'm about to say, at least I'm mixing whiskey into it.
Into your,
Hard cider. Yeah.
it's interesting.
Flaming apple.
It's
It
really
It
good.
literally tastes like apple juice.
I had a Jägermeister float the other day. That was pretty good.
A Jaeger float?
Yeah, it was ice cream, a little bit of Dr. Pepper, and shots of Jaeger. It's actually
Interesting.
really refreshing.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was weird. We looked up online just to see like if we had anything we could make. That was the only thing that popped up, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'll try it." So we did with Dr. Pepper and with Ruby.
It was so funny when we were on the game with Hayden this morning. Ray was in here still at like 2:30.
Oh, I sent him the screenshots. Oh, yeah.
What?
Ray, she talked for about, she talked for about 2 hours straight. Hayden, on our earbuds through the line, he was like, does she ever stop fucking talking? And he was like, till it wakes up, until it goes to bed. 24/7.
Why don't you just mute her?
You can't.
I mean, I can mute her.
And then after...
We have enough duct tape. It is very
And
possible
then-
for me to mute her. Silence may be golden, but duct tape is silver.
Yeah.
But
And I may have used half a roll to put that phone book back on there. Literally half a fucking roll of duct tape is wrapped around that, and it is not moving now. Like, I tried to pull on it, it won't go anywhere.
Give it about a week.
Not with her sitting in there.
Yeah, that's true.
but after about 2 hours, he just looked at her and he goes, "Can you shut the fuck up for 5 minutes? That's it." And she was like, "What?" He was like, "Can you shut the fuck up for 5 minutes?" That's it.
I was literally trying to talk to Hayden about something on Conan because I was in the middle of doing something, and Hayden couldn't hear me over her talking. It was echoing that much through both mine and Ash's mic. He couldn't hear me.
Damn.
And I had been trying to get his attention for like 20, 30 minutes before I finally looked at her and was like, "Shut up. I am taking a roll of duct tape in the car with me. If you start this shit in the car, I will pull over, drag you out, duct tape you up, and throw you in the trunk."
They're cruising down 10.
Well, to be fair, they had a hatchback, so.
She'll get a bad sunburn. That's about it.
Yeah, what I'm saying, as a car driving by, seeing him throw Ray into the back of the truck after duct tape airman, I mean, get an Amber Alert. That's Bash's car.
Right? John's gonna be like, "That's not an Amber Alert. She must have just wouldn't shut up."
Yeah. Was there duct tape?
Yeah.
Yeah, quite a bit of it actually. Just trust me, leave it alone.
It was
I
better
promise.
than the alternative.
So, well, we're here. I actually came up with where did I put it? A question. Assuming I can find my notepad.
Came up with a question.
Didn't you have a question too on your notepad?
Oh, I got a would you rather.
Ooh, all right, let's start with yours.
Well, it wasn't mine. It was one of the guys from work yesterday, but he was like, oh, it was actually Malvo. Would you rather go to prison for 2 years or have the shits for a year?
The shit.
I don't have a gallbladder. I'm already there.
You're already very honest.
I would have to pick the shits.
Huh?
For
I would
a
have to
year?
pick the shits for a year.
For over prison?
I can buy diapers. I'll be fine.
No.
That's a no. Huh.
I'll buy diapers and air freshener. I'll be fine.
Well,
Just shh. Alright, back to gaming.
too many infos.
Right?
Gonna be
No.
like,
Hold on, let her finish her sentence.
right?
No, because I'm like Hayden. I have a problem with my intestines and stuff, so I can't shit.
Hey,
What was
like,
that?
what the hell?
What was that earlier? I can't believe, or I hate when the plane.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we're about to sit here going, flies are that annoying too, but go, continue.
Fucking Mortimer Smith said the shits probably.
This is probably. Over 2 years? I don't know.
What else? There was another one we were talking about, would you rather, or no, it was the casting game. We were on the mic with Hayden when we were playing Battlefront. Do you remember it? God, I for the life of me cannot remember.
I know we were talking about who
Ray,
else
it was
they
who would you have cast to play Ray Skywalker?
Oh, that's old. That's,
Yeah, no, that is
That's
Okay.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were
I
talking.
know-
We said we might bring that up on the show. So.
I know we were talking about like who else you would bring into
I
the
think
game.
we had a hard time coming up with a lot of strong female actors. I want
Yeah.
a lot of strong actors.
Yeah.
Before I eat them all.
But that's the thing is like the girl that played Ray, I don't remember her in anything else.
Well, I don't know that she was in anything very popular.
So I mean, there's all that other talent out there that we don't even know about. So
Well, I don't know, but it still pisses me off. The dude from Twilight is going to be, Bruce Wayne.
I have not, Brandon. And yeah, the fact that Rob Patterson is going to be fucking Batman.
That guy.
But they're still trying to figure out who the fuck's gonna play Catwoman.
honestly, I'm willing to give it a shot. Because to be completely honest, I didn't think Christian Bale was going to be a good Batman.
And he turned out to be
No,
really
I
good.
thought
fucking
that was
Batman.
going to be good because I liked him in American Psycho.
No,
and
no,
stuff.
I love his acting.
I was aware of it.
Yeah, I liked his acting. But I didn't know how that would transfer over to Batman.
That's just it. I don't like Robert Pattinson's acting at all.
And
And
they're
I've watched
coming
him
out with
before
the
he was even in
new-
Twilight when he came out in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Remember, he was a wizard in Harry Potter for 2 fucking movies.
It looks
And
like
then he
she
was
did a lot of
murdered in
voice.
one of them.
Who was he?
Cedric Diggory. He was
Yeah.
killed in the graveyard by Voldemort when they won the Goblet of Fire.
Wow, it's apparently been a really long
Yeah.
time since I've seen those because I do
But
not
he
recall
was. That's what won him the casting award for Twilight, to be Edward Cullen in Twilight,
Wow.
because of his acting in that
Wow, in
movie.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Well, they didn't throw that rock very far. Well, it's just like Hugh Jackman. Like, I remember reading in Wizard magazine
Interesting.
before they stopped printing it, that Hugh Jackman was going to be Wolverine, and I was like, there's no way. There's no fucking way that he's going to pull that off. And now, like, you can't think of Wolverine and not think of Hugh Jackman.
That's true, but the same goes for Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds now.
Oh,
No,
no,
that's
no.
not true.
No, everybody knew. Everybody
Yeah.
knew that was fucking gold on first sight.
But if Ryan Reynolds were to suddenly die, like
No,
every
yeah,
other
I think
famous
it's,
actor
I think it's
these
the other way
days-
around. Yeah, like casting him for Deadpool at this point. Like,
yeah.
there's no way that I could replace him.
No, I couldn't think of anyone that could even remotely come close. Now, animated wise, maybe Mark Hamill would do okay.
No, I mean there's quite a few really good voiceover actors for Deadpool.
What voiceover? I don't know.
Like, but to be fair, that might, like, assuming that ever happens, that would be one of those things where, like in the second Fantastic Four movie, like the guy played Fantastic Four physically, but it was
Somebody else's voice.
the guy from the Matrix.
Morpheus?
Yeah, he was the one that voiced the Silver Surfer, but it was a different guy that played him physically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne?
Yeah.
Did you know, and I didn't find this out until yesterday, and I looked it up, that it's Mark Hamill that plays Fire Lord Sozin,
Oh yeah.
and he plays all the voice actors for the Fire Lords.
Oh
in
yeah.
Avatar. I didn't fucking know that he even plays the fucking Fire Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, he does 5 different voices in there, and I didn't even know it was his fucking voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when he found out, he scared the shit out of me because he was doing his little Google search and he went deep down in like the Google.
The rabbit holes.
Yeah, and then like he was looking and then he goes, oh! And I was like, what?
Did my water just break?
I was like, then I had to go back and play a scene to hear the voice. I was like, yeah, that is Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You
Now I
can't
can-
unhear it after that.
Yeah, I
huh?
know. But it's like the Joker. I mean, name a better person that does the voice acting for Joker than Mark Hamill.
There's
does.
not
no,
one.
yeah,
There's not one.
That's one of the things that I feel a lot of people leave out, like when you're naming your favorite Jokers. Mark Hamill's like
Yeah.
one
Well,
of the best.
okay, but it's one of those things. Like if you're doing like
But you can have anybody
Quit
do this
scratching
tons. You have any
Scratching next to
stuntman
it.
doing it.
true,
I can't
but
help it.
but for me it's one of those things. Like whenever you're doing like what are we calling it now? Hokage Rock.
Yeah.
If you're doing that for Jokers, like you really have to be specific. Like, okay, are we talking live action? Are we talking like all together? Are we
I
talking
think all
anime?
together.
See, like all together. I
I mean, all together, how many Jokers are there?
I think there's like 5 or 6.
oh no, there's more.
So
than
no,
that.
depending. I don't think there's that many. Depending on the animation, I think Hamill did at least 2 of them. I think he did 2 different series.
Well,
there's like 1 or 2
he did the
committed to
series.
other ones.
He did the Killing Joke, and then there's
There's what 5 actors.
yeah, there's like 5 maybe 6 live action actors, and then there's Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah.
Like there's quite a few of them.
It was-
Brandon, you know they're making a live action Kim Possible?
They are making a live action Invisible.
Oh my god.
Hey, they're running out of ideas. Leave them alone.
But the rules,
No,
the
they just
fucking-
announced that Netflix is doing a live action One Piece too.
Yeah, see, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. Because it's
Yeah.
like, well, what originally spawned my 2-part question is I watch a lot of the like best anime fight videos, and there's a couple where like One Piece fights are on there, and it's like I don't get it. Like I just like I've tried to force myself to get into One Piece, and
I can't do it. It was like there was a question posted on the Team 4-Star page that I follow Team 4-Star, and it said it was like a Jeopardy question. It said, "This is the name of the anime that you can't watch past the first episode." And I said, "What is Fire Force?"
Mm-hmm.
And I did catch a lot of flack in the comments for it because people love the anime Fire Force. Me personally, after the first episode,
It's shit.
it just literally it looked lame, sounded lame.
See,
even the fight scene was lame.
See, for me, like, I've seen so many good reviews, and I've seen so much, and I've heard so much about it. Like, I'm gonna give it, my normal test. Like, I'll go through the first season.
Yeah, and that's what people told me. Get through the 5th episode. Once you pass yourself through the 5th episode, it picks up and runs.
Yeah, well, you gotta remember, though, Attack on Titan was the same way.
Yeah, but Attack on Titan's back storyline that went through it, at least it started off with their mom getting eaten alive by a fucking Titan.
And then it had to explain.
And Fire Force, it literally starts with a building on fire, and the main character walks in there, and he does a super kick, and it fucking puts out the fire, and that was the end of the fight. That's how he fought fire. But he shoots fire out of his feet, and he basically caused a fire that was hotter than the current fire, and it ate the fire in the building.
So you fought fire with
That's
fire.
pretty much Fire Force. In a nutshell.
I'll still give it a shot.
But, like, people said that with Black Clover. They said, get through the 5th episode and it's really good after that. No, the dude's still a whiny-ass bitch.
Yeah.
I can't get over how whiny and crying bitchy this dude is. Black Clover.
Yeah, Black Clover. Black Clover gets really good after the first season. Like, after the entirety of the first season, then it gets really good. But for the first season...
So it's Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
He's still, like, on season 1, episode 7.
But
and I told him,
but it's one of those things.
Past the first season.
It's one of those things, like, it's like Boruto. Like, you just really fucking hate the character. And it's not until after the first season it's like, okay, I can tolerate him. Okay, I'm liking him.
See, I'm liking the series, especially now in the arc they're in where they went back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm enjoying that because he's working with Kid Naruto.
Yeah.
And, him and fucking Jiraiya and Sasuke.
Siege.
But nobody knows it's Sasuke, and then Jiraiya figures out, hey, you're Sasuke Uchiha, and that's Naruto's son. You guys are from the future. And then suddenly Sasuke goes, oh shit, Genjutsu's everybody, wipes the memory and leaves.
Jesus.
He, literally, he plants the tree, and Genjutsu's the entire planet, wipes the memory of them completely, and dips.
Jesus Christ. Neza?
Huh? What?
Brian said watch Neza on...
I think it's...
Oh, nice.
Oh no, Parasite did get put on Netflix. I mentioned this before in English, and it is still good.
Yeah.
In English, I only ever watched it subbed, but I'm watching it in English, and they're pretty much spot on with the sub part.
Yeah.
So.
But
you can't really fuck up that anime though. It's the same premise no matter how you look at it.
So my question, like I said, it's a 2-part. So what to you guys makes a good anime?
Character development and definitely the fight scenes.
Okay, so say like, fuck it, Hokage Rock. 4 things. Like if you had to say, this is what I want in this anime for you to consider it good.
Character development, story, backstory, and fighting.
Wouldn't there all be character development though? Backstory? And...
No, because the backstory for, like, say, if you were to watch...
Like Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
It's the backstory, and then you watch the character, like, grow and change and develop. Naruto's the same way.
See, but I'm thinking, like, even with Death Note, like, there's no fighting in that.
No, but
Still a great anime.
Still a great anime.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Death Note, for some reason, to me, it was more of the mind games that were being played through the psychological warfare. That still, to me, is fighting. It's just not physical.
Yeah. So what about you? And you can't skip out of this because I know you like anime.
Well, yeah, the character development and the fight scenes. Depending on the anime, the backstory, and
Does it have to have love?
No.
She preferred, but it doesn't have to.
No, because preferably he likes chick flicks more than I do.
Only when you put him on and walk the fuck away.
John got real defensive with that one too.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Come on, one more.
To be fair, your ass drugged me kicking and screaming into Fairy Tail, and then you get mad when I binge watch half the season in one night.
No, because I have this thing where if fucking what is it called? Avatar. He started it and he watched almost the whole first season in one day, and I was like, "Stop binge watching fucking anime." He goes, "Why?" I was like,
"It's hard to stop binge watching when it's a really good anime."
I was like, because
what?
no.
Well, I guess that you really don't have time either, but
He has a bad habit of starting it and then just continue to watch it. And then when he gets to a stopping point, you know, he's either just paused it after a fight or he leaves it off on a cliffhanger. But when he just stops watching it, it doesn't. God damn! I just had a brain fart.
So for you, Bran, that's technically 2. You're still short 2. You're still short 1.
I'm so confused.
See, my toss-up was either fight scenes or blood and gore. Because technically, Attack on Titan probably would have been a really good anime even without all the high-flying combat scenes. If it was just them getting eaten all the time and running for their
I
lives.
care about like animation style.
Yeah.
Animation style.
Yeah.
See,
And
I
also,
can't
a
say
big
that.
thing for me too is era. Like, I don't, what's with all these like they're back in time and like there's like robotic cowboy shit going on, like in a lot of stuff.
Like, I can't say
Or like they
much
go
about,
back, then everything's always in the fucking deserts.
Yeah.
I can't say much about animation considering that Dragon Ball Super is considered one of the worst animes to have animation. They have one of the worst
Dragon
animated
Ball Super.
series.
What type of animation?
It's regular like anime animation, like Naruto and all that. But the problem is the drawing is so bad because they were pushed for a time rush
So a lot of it is real simplified.
and real donkey.
Yeah. See, for you though, you have a problem getting your hooks into an anime. Just
dialogue.
yeah, and you're real picky about anime.
I needed to catch my interest right away because I get bored.
Yeah.
With those.
Yeah.
AKA, you didn't finish the first season of Sword Art Online yet?
No, I got like most of the way through it, but I remember I just kind of lost it. I started watching that Hunter x Hunter. That was really good. I watched that.
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah. Hunter x Hunter is really good.
So I think I've been doing like 3-4 episodes of each one, and like nothing's like really grabbed me. But I've been watching Avatar with the kids. So.
Nice.
Also, suspense. That's
Ruby.
If I had a fifth one, it would be suspense.
Did you finish Ruby?
I think so.
Nice.
The only reason I say suspense is like One Punch Man. It's funny, but I have no interest in it because he's gonna win no matter fucking what.
Okay, see, for me, the thing with One Punch Man is, it's not the fight scenes. Like the boss fights at the end of season 1.
Yes,
and
Brandon.
then-
4 reasons.
And then the fights that happen without One Punch Man in season 2 with like Guru and the other characters, they're great. Like they're absolutely fantastic. But it's the humor that keeps me coming back for One Punch Man.
Yeah. Well, and Mob Psycho, you said
It
Yeah,
took us
that's
off.
we're off live. The computer couldn't handle it.
I can still hear you talking now. Let's back up.
Yeah,
Okay. Whatever that was.
that's odd.
Oh no, but back to him is when he just straight on just binge watches an anime, he'll finish it. If it's like a 6 to 7 season one, he'll finish it in a week. If it's a 4 season anime, he'll finish it in 3 days. And it's just, he continues to watch it so much that after he watches all of it, he has nothing left to watch.
That's how I am.
And it just makes me so mad, and I'm like, stop fucking binge
we just
watching
did that
it.
with The Ranch too. We just completely finished the series.
Had you finished it before?
What, The Ranch?
Yeah.
No.
It takes a fucking twist, am I right?
Right. We finished.
Like, it was all lighthearted.
I
like,
watched all the way up to
laugh track
season
stuff.
6, and then that's when they announced they weren't bringing Rooster back, so I had no real interest in it.
The one where he was
But-
stuck on the fence.
Yeah. When he was like crushed by the
Dude,
truck.
Cock-a-doodle-doo, motherfucker! Like,
I was like, oh my god, this dude's gonna fucking die. Like,
And
I had to
really
stop and check how
thought,
many episodes I left because I knew it was the last season.
I really thought that they were going to kill off another character before the end of it, but now they said they're not making another season at all.
No, yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Whatever happened
so
with Danny Masterson? Did he end up going to jail and stuff?
No.
or-
he was cleared of all charges.
no, Mary took the...
No, but in real life.
Danny
Oh.
Masterson is Rooster, the actor.
Yeah,
When
because
I
the whole
said
reason
that
they
was-
stopped that was because he had like put allegations against him.
Well,
Yeah,
when
he had an LBGTQ allegation against him where he went to a rally, cussed them all out, called them names, harassed them. And then he had an allegation against him where he was part of the child sex ring and supported it, which was found not to be true too. And he had Ashton Kutcher backing him up the whole time, but Netflix wouldn't let them cast him back into the new season. But we had this discussion on the first episode, episode I was actually in, that ran 20-minute test, 2.5 hours long. Yeah. But needless to say, like, I kept expecting Rooster to pop back in, towards the end or something.
When they went to that hotel, I was like, shut up.
Yeah,
or like when he was getting crushed by the truck, I was hoping Rooster would like come around, like push the truck off of him or something real quick, and just be like, "Hey, I'm alive, but can't tell anybody," and leave.
I was randomly walking
outside. When they went to the motel and everything, all of his shit was clearly there. And like the card, said that he was there a couple of days ago. So I was like, he probably went and built another hunting cabin down the river because they still didn't find his body after the bike wreck.
And see, that's why I thought they were going to bring him back, because nobody ever confirmed he was dead.
Yeah.
It never actually said he died.
Yeah,
it just said they couldn't find him after his motorcycle accident. They couldn't find the body.
I think once Ashton,
all they found was
he
his
accepted
wallet.
it, I accepted it. I was like, damn, really?
But
because that episode was on.
Now I almost bawled my eyes out when they had that little service for him.
Oh, I know, right?
I was like, that is.
Sam Elliott, though, man, there's something about that man's lip when it quivered. I was like, oh my god! Hug him, I bet he smells great.
Dude, when you saw that mustache like quiver up and you saw his eyes get all teary, I started feeling it. I was like, stop that! You're gonna make me cry, and I'm watching this.
And it was so worse. Like, what made it worse was when he was up there, like, when he started to tear up and everything, Ashton just walked in with the Bennett Brothers Ranch sign, and he burst into tears. I was like, that is not the way to do it.
Or
That
like,
is just depressing.
That was dirty.
I actually cried when Lisa Newman, right? Newman's Hill? Whenever Ashton worked a deal with her not to sue her for her cow getting his cow sick. It was the last episode, and he kept the Iron Ranch and gave the keys to his dad, and his dad started crying. Like when he started crying, I actually started crying. I couldn't help it. Because when that motherfucker cries...
I'm telling you, it was all lighthearted until that final season, like, when even the dad goes down, like, he has that heart attack, or that episode in the driveway.
Yeah.
Like, you just see Sam Elliott, bam, face first in the ground, you're like, oh my god, no, not Sam Elliott, I can't handle that. Shake Ashton!
It's like he goes more white girl over something about Sam Elliott than a white girl does over, like, a big
Hey, he's
superstar.
a man's man, not a white girl's man. I'm just saying.
I know.
That's true.
But I was really hoping they would do it one more season, like just to tie off loose ends. It did really end well. But I was kind of like, okay, well, Ashton hasn't finished the house yet, for his family. They were still finishing it.
Everybody's together and happy.
They wanted to have another kid. What's her name had Alzheimer's, and they were battling and they never finished that.
That made me sad. I was like,
the new character they introduced, Luke, his brother. He was an Iraqi war vet with PTSD who just started seeking help, and it left you hanging with
him.
That. Mary just got done with being a drug addict, going through rehab, and they left you hanging with that. Heather just murdered Mary's ex-husband in cold blood.
Well, it wasn't so cold.
Not in cold, but she shot him at point blank range.
It was tepid blood.
Damn.
And she got away with murder.
She legitimately got away with murder. Her mom took the fall for it and said it was self-defense because he was beating her. And that was Mary, and she got out of jail, or she got put on probation. She had just gotten out of rehab. And it just kind of left you with all this.
Mary has like a drug problem.
Yeah. Well, it's because
right?
What drove her the drug problem was Rooster dying. I still didn't believe he was dead.
What really caught me off guard was when Maggie
discounting
right
was when Maggie told Bo that she had a girlfriend.
That she had basically gone lesbian, and he didn't freak out on her.
He was
the fact that you watched the first 4.5, 5 seasons of Sam Elliott's character, and then suddenly you just see this massive shift. He's this hardcore redneck who is so conservative and Bible loving that a gay would get shot even so much as stepping foot on a rock on his property.
What's up?
And then all of a sudden, now he supports gays, you know, he's thinking about moving, he's going to Spain on vacation, going to Disney World in Florida, thinking about getting rid of his guns.
And what caught me like the most what caught me off guard the most about that was Colt had actually got him to wear Uggs and sweatpants and tights.
See, I will say, now I know how you feel because I have no fucking clue what y'all are talking about.
You haven't watched The Ranch, have you?
No.
So good, dude. Like, even without... Okay, I was skeptical because without Danny Masterson's character, Ashton Kutcher's character is Kelso. He's a complete fucking retard. The only thing he's good at is punching and heavy lifting. He is a fucking brute dumbass.
But
he's a girly man too. He takes care of his nails, gets mani-pedis, does his hair. That's Ashton Kutcher's character in this show.
The running gag they had though for Sam Elliott with the Uggs.
The Uggs, right? Yeah, that's what she just
They
said.
bring that back in the last season.
Like, no, if you
on the
watch
last
every
episode-
season after he gets those Uggs, that's all he's wearing now is Uggs.
On the last episode when he's sitting in the living room when he gets the keys, he's sitting in the living room with sweatpants and Uggs.
Yeah.
And you know that's, fucking Colt's character influence on him.
But as the seasons progress, you actually see Colt go from this high school football, college football player from a dumbass to being an actual really good fucking rancher and learning, basically turning into Bo, which is
And that's what makes the show so great. But like I said, I was worried about Danny Masterson's character because Rooster, while a redneck rancher, was still really fucking smart. He was the complete counter of Colt. He did stupid shit with Colt, like brothers do, but Colt was a complete retard, and you had Danny Masterson's character, Rooster, who was pretty fucking smart.
He was the older brother with his, the head well on his shoulders.
And then they replaced him with Luke, who is an Iraqi war vet, who, he did okay.
Yeah, I was into... when I saw that, the first episode he came out, I was like, oh, don't tell me they're going to do that. Do that to this show. We're losing traction. Add a new character.
Yeah, like they did with,
yeah.
What is it?
But it had its own, point. And they decided to touch on, a lot of vital social issues that last season, right?
Yeah, like the gun, mass shootings, Alzheimer's, mass shootings. That's why Bo was thinking about getting rid of his guns, Maggie had brought up, mass shootings, and she got rid of her guns because of it. And he finally caved and took his gun out of his truck, quit leaving it in there, started locking his guns up and shit, keep it away from everybody. They brought up Alzheimer's. What else did they bring up?
Well, the drug addiction and stuff.
Drug addictions in the world. How easy it was to get your hands on drugs.
Yeah.
And how quick it was to
spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So real quick, I'm gonna reel this back before we completely lose all of that. So the reason I asked the question, and again, there's the second part, was
we're back on that.
Yeah.
This guy.
Yeah. No.
One track mind over there.
Yeah. Yeah. For once.
What'd you get?
Was because
I don't know what he got me earlier.
One of the Dr. Pepper. Because earlier,
Dr. Pepper with ice.
or a couple days ago,
Had melted.
whenever I was watching them, there was a fight that was on there that brought a lot of interesting points up, which is what leads me to the next one, which is to you guys, what makes a good fight scene?
I wouldn't say so much it's the fight directly as much as it is the premise leading up to the fight.
Yeah.
And I specifically say that because you look at my favorite anime on the planet is Full Metal Alchemist. And most of the time when they get into a fight, it's because something led them into said fight.
Okay, well, give me an example, like in Full Metal or whichever one of your choice. What fight can you just watch nonstop? It's the perfect anime fight to you.
Frieza versus Goku.
Which
And
one?
the first time on Namek.
On Namek? Okay.
There is no way, the build up to that fight. You watch Frieza dominate Gohan, Krillin, Dende, fucking Vegeta gets his ass absolutely handed to him. And then suddenly, Goku jumps in and can deflect everything Frieza's throwing at him for a good while before Frieza goes, fuck it, full power.
Okay.
And then kills Krillin. And now you've got Super Saiyan Goku, who is stronger than Frieza, and that fight just goes back and forth the whole fight.
Yeah.
Until Frieza becomes a sore loser and blows up the fucking planet.
Alright, what about for you?
What makes a good fight in anime?
Baby's out.
Sorry, one of our audience members got loud.
I don't care what you say. Serenity is adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
So what
really
about you?
is.
She's so innocent.
Yeah, she just comes at me like,
Yeah.
I know I'm not supposed to be awake, but Daddy, I need your help with something. And she reminds me so much of my daughter. That's why, every time she's here, I'm like, hi, Serenity, how are you?
Yeah.
She looks just like Peyton, except Peyton has light hair.
No,
Yeah.
That's
Peyton had the same color hair. I swear.
until she was
Got highlights
older.
and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, my
hate
daughter has
fucking
purple
Nicole
hair,
for
by
that.
the way.
She has purple highlights.
Because her mama said she could have purple. And she's wearing makeup now.
And she's got her ear pierced.
Well, the ear
Well,
pierce.
that's whatever.
Okay, to be fair, when she got her ears pierced at 7 months, I wasn't there for that. Because if I was, I would have fucking shot whoever pierced her ears. Because her mom didn't take her to any professional, she took her to Claire's. And that was my only argument with her mom was, if we're gonna do that, get her ears pierced, I'm gonna take her to a professional pierce.
I would take my kid
Like
to
a
a
tattoo
tattoo
shop.
shop.
Yeah.
And she's like, no,
They're
I
more
don't want to get her ears
sterile and
pierced.
better.
And then she goes to California for a week, comes back, and Peyton's ears are pierced. And she's like, we're going to done at Claire's. Yes, and I had to drain her ears for 2 weeks straight. Because she got 2 ear infections, and her earlobes got so infected, I took the earrings out, and she had to close them up so I can get them re-pierced professionally later. Like,
Okay.
I don't have any, like,
let's see.
favorites.
It's really hard to pinpoint, honestly, with your animes, because you like Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Which Fairy Tail has a lot of fighting in it, in and out. With comedic relief, of course, because Natsu's a fucking idiot. But, you know, every anime has the main character as a
I
goddamn
can see that.
idiot.
I can see that.
What do you say? I feel like Oath Fight is worth the amount of episodes it takes to happen. No more, no less. My phone.
I would
board,
have
that's
to
not a
say,
good
yeah,
fight.
the backstory that led up to the fight, that has to make it good. But also, depending on what anime you're watching, who's gonna be, you know, the ones that are fighting.
Mm.
That
like,
is true.
Like, you have to, like, in Dragon Ball, for instance, Goku, yeah, he's in almost every fucking fight because
He's
he's
Yeah.
the main character.
but as you can tell, Vegeta is so fucking salty because Goku just steals it all and he fucking wins, and then
Hence the running gag in Team 4-Star.
Yeah.
Goku just stole that.
So okay, so like to you, like what is like the perfect anime fight?
Like I said, mine's always gonna be Frieza versus Goku, and it touches base with.
And that's really surprising because I expected a different one.
You expected
figured,
Cell versus
Yeah.
Gohan, right?
I
Yeah.
figured,
No?
I thought he was gonna say Cell versus Team Gohan.
Because the storyline leading up to Cell versus Gohan is it was Goku versus Cell.
And then Gohan
And then
stole it.
suddenly the show just twisted to
Yeah.
Goku going, fuck this, throws Gohan in there. That wasn't even expected by my point, and Gohan had no premise to actually be there.
Yeah.
And when it came to Frieza versus Goku, Goku was literally sent there to help. So I knew Goku was going to be there. These fights are too long. I love how in the abridged version, the first season was done in the first 5 minutes. Okay, but this goes to you, Brandon, because you finished, you watched the Frieza versus Goku fight, which is considered by most people who watch anime one of the best fights in anime history. It's the longest fight in anime history.
Basically.
When he does that, I think of a fucking seal just
Yeah,
sitting there.
yeah, pretty much.
Or was it from the ranch cult said, I thought the Navy SEALs were actually SEALs. It was legitimately a line in there. He's like, I thought they were trained to bounce a grenade on their nose and then smack it with their tail.
Wow.
And I was like,
Ow.
Okay, so to you, like
The animes that I watch, there's more fighting in the animes that I watch than there are in Dragon Ball. So I can't pick a favorite fight scene.
to be fair, like I said, Fairy Tail. Have you watched Fairy Tail
Yeah.
before?
Yeah.
There's not really a premise to why they're fighting. It's usually they just get stuck in a situation where they have no choice but to start.
Yeah.
I would
brawling.
honestly say, actually, whatever fucking season we just watched, I think it was season 7, where they have to fight the dragons for the time clock.
Okay.
That,
See, and that's not the one I thought you would say.
well,
I expected you to say something like Bond versus Meliodas.
Now that was a fun fight though.
Yeah.
that was a fun fight, yeah. But no, I mean, there's fighting
Well,
in
and
that,
if that was
but
the case, like I would say like Kirito versus fucking what's his name from the first
Ukiura?
season. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was a hell of a fight.
Yeah.
Because the pre-fight was him getting his ass totally laid the fuck out.
Yeah.
well, I mean, if I was going for 7 Deadly Sins, I would have done the final fight where
You know what,
Meliodas
Brandon?
is fighting the 10, the 10, whatchamacallits.
You know what, Brandon? Yes, Lust versus Mustang. But to be fair, that's
Brandon, that's
not
why-
really a fight. That is more of a fucking slaughter.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I was gonna go with was when Al fought Creed, because
Yes.
there was
Okay.
a whole backstory to it,
Yeah.
and it was all done for a purpose.
Yeah. Okay, so like for you, like what makes like the perfect anime
Well, the
fight?
backstory for sure, because I think we've done this perfect fight episode before, and mine originally was Sasuke and Naruto,
Yeah.
like the very first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that one goes hard by the waterfall. But like, if we're thinking more along like character development and storylines, like that one fits perfectly into it because that influenced the rest of it. He's like, "Why'd you let
Yeah.
me kill you? Like, because you don't get it. Now you know how to kill them."
Yeah.
And that was it. And we were like, "Oh shit! Did not see that coming from Creed, especially."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And that makes total sense. Like in Full Metal, like the fight scenes are. If you actually watch the Full Metal Alchemist or Full Metal Alchemist, whichever one you prefer, the fight scenes aren't just random.
Yeah.
They're a huge story build up to that fight.
Yeah.
Except for maybe Father, whatever his name was, the Sun God.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
more of a, we're here to check out the town on military orders, and
Well,
then suddenly they see the fake philosopher stone, like, oh, we're going to kick his ass
Yeah.
to steal that.
Yeah. So the reason that I asked the question is, again, watching these fights, as far as like for me, what makes like the perfect anime, one is the animation type. Like, you know, there's a
I
lot
did
of
this to
different.
Brandon because of this comment right there. He said no
Like-
one mentioned Bleach.
Yeah, well, no, he did actually. But like, there's a lot of different animation types out there. But for me, it's like that really clean, really clear, like 60 frames a second. Like it's just smooth animation.
Okay, that's going to actually make me ask you a question. Have you seen the remade Frieza versus Goku Super Saiyan fight?
Yes.
In the 60 frames,
Yeah.
4K graphics.
Yeah.
Fucking clean as shit.
Oh yeah.
I wish that was the original fight.
Yeah.
I hear like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I will show it to
Honestly.
you. It actually, and Brandon, if you get a chance to look at it, it's from the Xenoverse game.
Yeah.
They have it
Well,
clipped on
it's-
YouTube, and it's all of 4 minutes.
It's also in Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, it's all of 4 minutes long too. It sums the
Yeah,
whole
for-
fight up in 4 minutes.
But the animation type for one, soundtrack, for me is a big deal. Third, I'd have to go with story development. You know, and I'll even throw in a 2-for-1 with the character development, because if you don't have a story that's constantly moving forward for some reason,
You just give yourself a fifth option.
no, that's why I tied those together, because technically they are. My fourth one would be like the overall story location, because it's one of those like it could be a great like anime, but if it's in a shitty location, that could be just as bad for me.
Yeah.
As far as like what makes a perfect fight scene, like
Okay, Naruto versus Pain.
see, okay, it was
That
a great
was a good fight.
it was a great fight, but what pissed me off is that animation wise, it got super fucking shitty.
And that's how I felt about Super.
Yeah, like
And Brandon, when you get into Dragon Ball Super, and this is going to be directed to you, I recommended, and I told you this before, watch Battle of Gods, okay, and watch Resurrection F, and then pick up the series from that.
Yeah.
Because the animation in Resurrection F and Battle of Gods, they had a lot of time to work on it. And unlike Super, where they were told you have a week to make 5 episodes,
Yeah.
So the animation got sloppy as shit.
Yeah, and the Naruto versus Pain, like, that was a fight like everybody anticipated.
Yeah.
And if they had spent the time to put the quality in there with the quantity, hands down, it'd be one of the best anime fights of all time. But the longer the fight went, the shittier the animation got, until it got to a point where it was like cheapy Flash animation.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was like, all right, fuck this. Like, I'm done.
Now, if you had to name the top 3 fights in anime, what would it be?
Top 3 fights in anime?
Yep.
For me, one of them would be...
And I mean fights. So this is gonna rule
Not-
out
yeah, not
Mustang
like, if you wanna get
versus
the-
like Lust, because that
Yeah.
wasn't an actual
The
fight.
other extra.
That was
So-
more of
oh,
Mustang
yeah.
just slaughtering
Yeah,
her.
no. So, one of them, for me, would be Saitama versus whatever the final boss in the first season is. Because it's this whole, like, aside from just the crazy animation and the sounds and the soundtrack, the powers and everything, it's more of, this guy is in the, like, he's just an alien version of Saitama. Like, he's just trying to find that fight that gets his blood pumping. And that's what the whole thing amounts to. But the way that entire thing was, with humor in it, was just great. My second one would be Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, where it's Vampire Hunter D versus whatever the vampire is in there. Because their fight, like, D is trying to rescue this girl when she's in love with this vampire, and they're fighting this until they realize that they're both being played by somebody else. The third one, which is so far one of my all-time favorite fights, is fucking Deku versus the Half Fire, Half Ice.
Okay.
In-
Versus
in-
God damn it. Starts
I-
with a T.
Sure. But that
Starts
fight,
with an S.
whatever. But it's like, just that episode, like, the episode starts really slow, you know, but when it builds up and he's trying to convince this guy, like, look, I know you're trying to stand against what your dad believes, but these are
unleash
your
your
powers.
powers.
Like, you need
Yeah.
to use your powers.
That was my
And-
number 3 fight.
And
yeah.
the fact that fight goes from, okay, it's cool, to, like, from...
Deku's fighting for his life at that point.
Well, no, not even, because Deku's going full tilt, and so was this guy, and just that, like...
Todoroki.
Yes. But it's just like
I
that...
definitely do not watch enough anime.
Yeah. But it's like that 10-second animation scene where Deku's going full tilt, and then Todoroki's doing the same thing, and he freezes, and then you just see, like, the heat waves pull back from him when he's doing the fire. Like, just that whole thing, just... It even now, I think I've watched it, like, 15 or 20 times, and it
at
still
least,
gives me
'cause
chills.
in the last week, we watched it 4 or 5
Yeah.
times on the
And it
computer.
still gives me chills. Like, I love everything about that. But that leads me back to what makes a great fight scene. Because for me, a great fight scene is the sound effects, number one. The interaction between the characters, the powers being used, and then how it's drawn. Because, like, yeah, you can have all that other stuff, but if it's, like, you know, just a really shitty kind of movement animation or whatever, well, what's the fucking point? But if you have, like, this big, crazy payoff after, you know, all this build-up, like, that's what makes a good fight scene to me.
And that question's going to go to you, because you've watched more than 3 animes in your lifespan. Your top 3 favorite fights. Hell, you've sat there and watched me watching the top 10 anime fights on Mojo.
Does not mean I paid attention.
That's true. You do spend a lot of time on your phone. You want me to give you time to think about it?
See, and, you know,
Because I'm going to touch base with Brandon on this. The reason I brought up the top 3 fights is my number 2 fight in all of anime is Ichigo versus Byakuga. Yeah, Kuchiki. When he
Okay.
fights Rukia's brother.
okay, yeah.
Because
yeah.
the build up to that scene where he gets
Yeah.
his ass totally wiped in the first time.
See, that one was good, but so was the fight at the beginning of Hellverse, where it's fucking Ichigo versus Ukiyoda. And
That's
they're
true,
both
too.
fully transformed. Like, that fight, when Chris showed me that fight for the first time, I lost my shit. Like, that was
Right.
such a great
It
fight.
really was, but it doesn't build like I didn't get the same chills and feeling I got from when Ichigo does Bankai for the first time,
Yeah.
and Byakuya is like, "That's your Bankai. It looks frail and fragile," and then suddenly he's just destroying fucking Byakuya's.
Yeah. That's true, but at the same time, the build-up for the Upiota fight happened during the series.
Yeah,
You know, and I didn't... Like, they should have put that in the series, not at the start of a movie.
that's true too.
So...
But that's my whole problem with Bleach,
Mm.
Brandon, is
Wow.
so when it comes to
Right.
an anime series, like I have the same problem with Dragon Ball. Is like what I was really excited for with the Cell Saga, and this is why I like the Cell Saga so much at the end, is because of the way they switched it. Is you always get this build up to where Goku's gonna win, and no matter what happens, Goku always wins, and you know Goku's gonna win.
It's like One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Minus the One
So
Punch.
it gets rid of some of the tension in it. But then in the Cell Saga, Goku gets his ass kicked by Cell when in their fight, and he's just worn out to a pulp. And he really is. He does the instant.
Worn out to a pulp.
He can barely stand.
I think he's beaten to a pulp.
Yeah, sure. We'll
But-
go with that. But like in that fight scene, so Goku does the instant Kamehameha, Cell regenerates, blah 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 blah. Goku throws in the towel. And I'm half expecting Vegeta to take over the fight at that point, because Vegeta just spent a fucking 3 days in the time chamber, which is
Yeah.
3 years. I'm thinking Vegeta's probably figured out something new, whatever, and then they suddenly called Gohan in. And I'm like, okay, I did not see that coming.
Mhm.
Like, okay, whatever. But it goes back to that whole, like, being you know who's gonna win the fight.
Yeah.
And like when he called Gohan in, I was like, Gohan doesn't stand a fucking chance. He couldn't even stand up to Goku in the time chamber. What the fuck? And then he loses his shit, Super Saiyan 2, whole yada yada yada. But the same thing with Bleach is like when Ichigo gets involved in a fight, you know he's gonna win.
Yeah.
And like Fairy Tail, I know Natsu's gonna save the fucking day. 9 times out of 10 he does.
See, and same thing to you, like your top 3 fights. But for you, since you don't watch as many anime, like you can even do live action fights.
That's true.
Live action like anime though? I mean like
No, like
well,
whether
then,
it's like live action
most
movies.
of the
Or...
fights from Warrior. That was amazing. I don't know. Like as far as animation goes, like I remember that first fight that he's talking about with Ichigo. I saw that one actually. Naruto fight. And yeah, there been solid fights from Full Metal. Because when he got down, he got down. It was rare to the point where it led up to that fight, and then once he did get to the fights, it was gonna be bad for somebody.
Yeah.
Even when Mustang fights Pride at the end, because when he goes against what is it, the Fear,
Mm.
or when he goes against King Bradley,
Yeah.
like, that's a good fight. I mean, he's just there,
Oh yeah.
and Scar when he fights Scar, or when Scar fights Lust and Gluttony.
Mm-hmm. But see, that for me, Full Metal had at least 3 out of the 4 things. Like the sound effects, meh, but the animation was always great, and it was always complete, and the movements were always really smooth. Like you could almost like feel the weight of every hit that everybody was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Mm-hmm.
My first one would.
That's not looking at your anyway, that's looking at Facebook.
So I think I'm gonna call out again.
Right.
Shit.
Dragging off the episode here.
Well, okay, if you can't think of any anime, we can always change to what do you think about Minecraft Dungeons? Since we now got her playing that.
I wanted to play it anyways, because it was Minecraft.
Speaking of, you need to play
We'll
that.
have to put you an account on Mike's.
Get you in here. Oh, it is so fun.
Uh-oh.
What?
Brian just posted a question.
What's your guilty pleasure show?
Oh, no, you can't answer. That was last week's episode. That's some bullshit.
I think his answer would probably anything with Sam Elliott.
No. That's not a guilty pleasure.
That's just an honor.
But yeah,
Like Chuck Norris versus Sam Elliott.
Ooh.
Sam Elliott.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Chuck Norris. So
Well, no,
yeah,
no,
Sam
no.
Elliott.
I'll give him the respect that's due. But Sam Elliott would just have to put like one hand in his pocket and just give him that look.
Dude, that scratch this.
Yeah.
He's done so many Western movies that I don't know. He's like the fucking.
You've seen Roadhouse?
Yes, I've seen Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. If you haven't, you've at
Technically
least
not
heard of it if
Western.
you watch one Family Guy
Yeah.
episode in your life. Because Peter quotes at least one thing from Roadhouse
Yeah.
in every fucking episode.
Wrong.
Or Dirty Dancing. One of the two.
Now, my guilty pleasure from last week was a show called Devious Spades. I think I only saw like the first 2 seasons
Which one?
of it. It's called Devious Spades. Like, it's pretty obscure. Like, it was all like novella actresses
Oh my god.
in English.
Oh, in English. That. Oh shit.
But
Right,
it starts out with like a murder in the very first episode, and it gets crazy because they're all just maids that live in this rich neighborhood, and another maid got murdered for some reason. So like these maids all go to crack the case, and it's interesting. Like it caught me right away. I was like, this is weird that I watched this show. It was one of those shows I couldn't believe I was actually watching. And then This Is Us. I fucking love that show, though. You guys should watch it.
Actually, I've been thinking about watching
No, This Is Us is actually really good. It's
This
solid.
Is Us is really good.
You've seen it?
Yes,
Oh,
I've
okay.
seen This Is
Oh,
Us.
I don't know.
Like I said,
I thought I was the only one in there.
Fucking Brand's laughing at you.
Guilty pleasure. Bitch didn't answer last week.
I know we're really not supposed to bring any of this up, but I read on like my little Google daily newsfeed thing on my phone. In Law and Order SVU is gonna do live like a real case about George Floyd's death.
Really?
But they always do those like rip from the headlines
Well,
episodes.
Well, they didn't do many
Yeah, no.
for like people. They did it just for the episode, but they didn't do like people who actually.
who is we? So, yeah,
Still tastes like tea.
I can't really touch on any of these
Dirty
topics
water.
that are going on because I've been in too many arguments on Facebook enough.
He's
as
got
it
Well,
banned
is.
from
that's-
Facebook 3 times and timeout for 24 hours.
Yeah, I mean that's not stuff that we bring to the show, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought about it because I like Law and Order.
Oh yeah.
And
My
so
guilty
I was
pleasure is there's no doubt about it.
like, Dragon
like,
Ball.
No, Dragon Ball's not a guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure is Jane the Virgin or NCIS.
So there's people and people.
Like NCIS is one of my favorite TV shows. ever.
I'll take SVU over NCIS.
Yeah, and a lot of people do, but I just find the comedy of like McGee or
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. NCIS is great. It's a great show.
even
Yeah, I
Abby.
didn't
Abby's
watch any of
hilarious.
these. Yeah.
He picked one of my favorite chick flicks as one of his guilty pleasures.
Which
Jane
one?
the Virgin.
Jane the Virgin.
That is one of my most guilty pleasures. That show is good. I don't care who you are.
If you
watch
sit down
it.
and
You
watch
will
the
get into
first
it.
season just watch it, you are gonna be like, this is so fucking stupid yet funny yet entertaining all in one, and you're like, I
Like I
gotta
said,
know
it is an
more.
American Telemundo.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
Telenovela.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Telemundo Network.
Yeah.
I can never
thank you.
pronounce the second one,
Novella?
so I always just say
I don't know
Telemundo.
Spanish except for hola.
That's all I means cheese,
Mi
right?
nombre es
Extra Ola on that.
hola. Mi nombre es.
Well, it's like Mike's counselor brought me a shirt, and I've yet to wear it out, but I'm going to. And it's like a military green, and all it says is "No habla inglés." And I so want to wear that out in public.
When we went
I
to
would laugh
Walmart-
at you.
You just
You should
look
wear
like one
that
of those
tomorrow.
Mennonites.
When we
Yeah.
went to
Shit, you work
Walmart
tomorrow.
the other day, I was gonna go get Ray asked me to get her something, and so I went over to the ladies department to try to get it, but
Oh.
everything's locked now. And I asked one of the workers there, to unlock it for me, and he just sat there and he was just speaking to me in Spanish. And then at the end of it, I was like I just talked to him in Spanish, and he goes, okay, I didn't think you would understand that, but whatever. I was like,
So you speak English, but yet you're talking to me in Spanish.
You've met my father, correct? Eric?
yes.
Okay. My dad, when he worked for his last company, most of his bosses were,
Spanish.
Mexican. They spoke Spanish. My dad knows Spanish very, very fucking well. And they would sit here and talk shit about him behind his back in Spanish. And my dad would just sit there and he'd just keep working. And then when the company went under, because my dad ran them out of business, my dad went up to him and started speaking in Spanish. And he's like, he basically told them, this is what you fucking get for talking shit behind my back. I stole all your contracts, all your business, everything.
Damn.
Get fucked. And gave him the finger. And he stole half their workers, too.
Damn.
And thus my dad is a multimillionaire for a reason.
All I can say, if Mike gets a job with him, Mike's gonna make some good fucking money.
Like I said, I know how to weld. I know how to do everything that my dad needs someone to do. I cannot
So does he, but he won't work with your dad either.
I cannot mentally work with my father.
Again.
I did it once. No, and when it comes to like me or my brother Shay working with my dad prefers me. Because I do my shit, I do it right, I don't complain, I do my job.
He don't bitch or argue. Shay, on the other hand.
No, I'll argue. That's not the problem.
Not as much as
Shay
does,
doesn't argue
though.
at all. But Shay doesn't do his shit and doesn't do it correctly. I do all my shit correctly, I do what I'm told, but I argue the whole fucking time.
I don't want
That's why me and my dad fight.
Clank.
Is because, like, we built this fence
I want
for...
your life.
Right.
Sad.
What we did is we built this fence for Section 8
He's gonna
apartments.
cry in the car. You know that, right?
We built this fence for Section 8 apartments. And my dad, it was when... Remember how I mentioned on the last episode where he threw the fucking rock bar into a frozen pile of clay?
Mm-hmm.
And it bounced back and hit him in the mouth? He left and went to the dentist. Like, right after. I had my own vehicle, so... He asked me to take care of spray painting a fence. I did spray paint the whole fence. The problem is I didn't agree with what color he was painting it. So I painted it the other color. Because that's what the apartment manager wanted. She wanted it, like, gray, like a steel gray.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to do it black because he does all his fencing in black. And she wanted steel gray. And when he left, she said, hey, I need it in steel gray. That's what I contracted for. And I called my dad, and he said, no, I told you we're doing it in black. I told her we're doing it black. I still did it steel gray. And that's why I quit working for him, because we got into a huge fight about it. And I was like, it's a paint color. Like, this is what they wanted. And he's like, I don't care what they want. He goes, when they contracted me, I told them I was only doing black, because black is cheap. Steel gray is expensive paint. So I get that, but that's what they paid you for. No, I wanted it black. I don't care what they want. It's what I want because I know what looks good.
It may look good, but if they contract for a
To me,
specific color,
yeah.
Well, and
you
gotta
do
keep-
it the
You gotta
specific
keep
color.
in mind, at this point I've worked for Domino's for 2 years. My customer service thing is pretty up there. It's like, customer wants it, that's what the customer gets. They
Yeah.
paid for it already. He's like, well, we're not going to make any profit off of the paint job then. He's like, I do it black for a specific reason. It's so I can tell when someone's tried to cut it, when someone's tried to mark it. He goes, if you have steel gray, if it looks just like it does now, but it's basically primer, he goes, I can't tell if someone's cut the gate tweaking it. Unless I physically go up there and move it. And then we got into another fight like a week later, and that's what led me to quit, is some guy didn't like the fact that they suddenly had padlocks on all the gates, so he took his car and ran through it. So my dad sent me out there to put a new section in. And when I cut out the old section and went to put it in, it didn't measure right. I was like, there was more damage to the gate than we thought. I need extenders added to this gate. And he's like, no, you need to make it fit. I was like, I can't. This dude ran an SUV through it. They told us a car. We measured the front end of a Civic, and it wasn't a fucking Civic. It was a Tacoma. I was like, there's a
Bit of a
big
difference.
difference there.
Bit of a difference.
It's like, that's 3/4 inch on each side. And anyway, that's...
It'd be more than that. Huh?
No, it was a 3/4 inch on each side. Because that's the reason I quit. Because my dad wouldn't trust my judgment on shit. But my dad and I don't get along with that. Shay, he'll do what he's told. He doesn't argue with it, but he doesn't half-assed.
Yeah.
That's why he was good in the oil field, where he just had to check a gauge every few hours. You know, makes $20,000 a month, and all he has to do is write down a number on the gauge every hour. Plays PlayStation the rest of the time.
And with that,
Who wants that job?
Jesus.
I mean, if y'all like building and like constructing shit, you could always talk to cousin, uncle, whatever the fuck he is.
The dude that lives here?
Steven, yeah, he's
That's a lot of fireball guys.
I forgot what they're called.
Contractor.
Yes. That.
I was wondering. I just did.
I was sitting here going, how long is it going to take for me to figure out the word contractor?
There's all kinds of contracts. He earns them.
What's the name of that again?
Well, he builds the big ass houses and businesses around here in El Paso. So
Okay, so you're telling me you have a chance to get... Don't do that. You have a chance to get me into that, and I've been bitching for the last 2 weeks. I want a job.
I told you that when we first moved out here, and you're like, no, I don't want to do that.
That's
I
true.
want to go back
I
to
heard her.
pizza.
She did. I heard her.
And
Specifically because...
his specific words
And that's
was,
actually kind of how you sound.
and
That was spot on.
Right?
and to be more like there, you were
Second
like
cousins are legal.
you.
Moving on.
No. No.
Jesus Christ. No, because I told him that he did contracting and he built businesses, and he was like, I can go put an application in at Papa John's and I can be hired in within 2 to 3 days. I was like, okay, but you would make about 7 to 8 grand working with
But I also specifically
him.
told you I didn't want to do that permanently.
it. I didn't say you had to do it permanently. I said you could have done it just so
I'm
we
talking
would have
about
more
Papa
money.
John's. I said I specifically didn't want to do that permanently. I want to find something better. We had this conversation. Even now, like, the only reason I held
I
out...
said we have it again.
Again,
reason
if
I
I
held
tell
out
him to
so
go work
long-
there, he's going to be like, no, I don't want to do it.
Okay, give me...
Apparently, we've turned into a novella.
Give me 2 months, and then I'll be okay working outside.
Oh my god! He is a bitch in the heat.
I really am.
Oh, I know.
I have no problem saying I am a bitch when it comes to anything above 80 degrees.
When we were out there building the deck over at this other place,
So hot.
like me
It
and
was
Rudy,
95 degrees outside when they were working that day.
fucking me and Rudy, man, we're out there fucking doing everything. This guy, like, he's helping it, like, he's working.
I will work
But,
in
like-
the heat. I have
but,
no
like-
problem working in the heat.
Like every 30 to 45 minutes, he'd go to the truck, fucking spray himself down. He was like, I can't get sunburnt.
Melanoma, man.
I'm sorry. Have you seen this?
Get some sun, homeboy.
You know what this is? No, I'm talking about the freckles. You know what this is from?
You're
This
born.
is from an idiot fucking friend of mine who decided, let's go to Hurricane Harbor in the middle of July for my birthday and buy non-waterproof sunblock. That took 3 months
I
for
don't
me
think
to
that's
heal
how you get
second degree.
freckles. I think that's. I
No,
think
you
you're
get
born.
them from that because what freckles do is, you know,
no,
how,
because I've actually got freckles. I was born with them.
Yeah.
okay,
you-
these I wasn't born with though. I can show you baby pictures. I can show you pictures.
On the
You're not
next
gonna
episode,
see
discounted.
freckles
Right.
when you're, a newborn baby.
I can show
freckles
you pictures
take,
of me
like,
without shirts when I was younger.
I have to see it now. I definitely don't want to see it
Yeah.
when I'm younger.
I don't give a shit. You guys are half the
For
time.
listeners to the
You're lucky I
audio
don't answer my
features
door
behind,
balls
no, her
hanging.
impression is spot on.
And the whole reason I asked you if your room was cool because our room is freezing every night now.
Yeah.
Talking about a fucking subject, chump.
No, you're like, oh no, what I said was like your son, or no, Ray knocked on the door this morning.
She has a bad habit
And
of
she
knocking
wanted to see
on
the
my
cats
fucking
while I
door
was half asleep.
early.
I got up to answer the door, quickly realized I didn't have pants on. I almost just flung the doorbell. What?
No, because like half the time we don't go to bed till like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
She is right. We did not go to bed till almost 8 o'clock this morning.
And
Y'all's
fucking Ray comes in at
Ranch's
9:30.
fault, but yes.
9:30, almost 10 o'clock, and she's like, Ash, Sebastian, and he opens the door and he goes, what the fuck do you want? Can I see the cats? No! Slams the door and goes back to bed, and I was like, who the fuck was that Mike? No, that was Ray. Never mind, go back to bed.
See, if it's something important, fine. But if you just want to see my goddamn cats, I think next time I answer the door, I'm just gonna be naked.
Yeah, that'd throw a
Fuck
cat at her.
Right?
I'll just throw Goku at her. Either one or two things is gonna happen with this. She's gonna fall on her ass because of how heavy he is, or she's gonna get a shit ton of scratch marks because that cat's not gonna know what the fuck just happened because he was asleep.
Little column A, little column B. Like Hayden says, it'll buff out.
Can I make cereal?
Brandon
Brandon wants to know if he can make cereal, apparently.
We are not your parents.
You gonna bring me some?
I think he's talking about Ray.
The only cereal I don't eat is Raisin Bran. I don't like Raisin Bran. I hate raisins. Even though they're grapes, and grapes is my favorite fruit. I hate raisins. I don't get it.
This is the kind of guy. I hate tomatoes. I love ketchup. And he does, too!
He'll
Okay,
eat.
to be fair, I'm allergic to raw tomatoes. That's not fair.
Yeah, it is.
No, I can't eat them without fucking getting... You see this shit right here? This is what happens when I eat raw tomatoes.
You see these pretzels? That's comes from eating tomatoes.
No,
You
a giant
should,
scab on my lips.
You should hear him, like, after we go to Burger King and they put tomatoes on the burger, like, 2 to 3 days later, he has blisters on the inside on his gums, and he sits here and talks with a lisp.
I do.
And it is so... I try... I don't know if you've ever noticed
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I
yeah.
try not to laugh, but when he's looking at John and
I
John's
don't.
looking at me,
I don't.
Are these guys serious?
Right?
I try not to laugh so
So
hard.
I get a bunch of fucking holes in the bottom of my lips, under here,
Technically, that's only one lip.
and I get them up here,
Okay.
and I'll get them on the back of my tongue, and it's from fucking tomatoes. That's why I don't eat raw
It's
tomatoes.
just not an outbreak.
I do not have herpes. Just
I'm so
because
glad
my
you caught
sex
that.
count is higher than yours does not mean I have herpes. Jealous ass.
That's
I don't know if I would
definitely-
be proud of
That's
that.
definitely a different episode right there.
I have no shame in my sex count.
No, I'm talking about the comparison.
Oh, okay. No, she said I wouldn't be proud of that.
I'm not going there. Anywho,
We love you guys. And to be fair, and to touch on that subject real
Remember,
quick,
be
I
good
did go on a
people.
year sleeping spree.
Huh?
I did go on a year sex spree. New girl
you,
every night.
you know what I just noticed? That's gross, by the way. That's probably herpes. Tomatoes ain't got shit to do with that. We never did our intros.
Well, yeah, you guys sort of...
If you guys don't fucking know us by now, what the fuck?
Okay, fair point.
And if you're new
That's
to
just
the
a
channel,
fireball talking, guys. We all love
Yeah,
you.
yeah. But, yeah, I
I
actually,
think we disconnected again.
did we? No, I'm
I
sorry.
don't see any fireball.
I don't know, it's good.
Oh, I'm good, though.
Yeah.
12:30.
Wow, it's only 12:30.
Mm-hmm. Plenty of time to play games. Well, guys, I guess we'll do...
He
for
can't
you.
play games tonight.
Shit.
Anyways,
I'm my
guys,
own business on one.
I'm getting put in time out, apparently. I'm canning bash.
I'm a collie.
you know, Mr. Blue, no damn Ian, no damn idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's figured out that I'm pretty buzzed right now.
Well, I think we all...
Well, it's not that. It's when he hasn't seen it in a while. Now that, like, when he gets buzzed or drunk, he doesn't sit here and talk quietly. He sits
Yeah.
here and he fucking screams in the microphone, and I'm like, get the fuck off the game. Like, when New Year's of this year, his grandmother
Guys, we
came
love
in
you.
at,
Take care of each other. Love each other.
Bye.
Help one
Be
another.
good humans.
Be good humans.
his grandmother